Good shot.
The fact that they saved Ben's death for the end, well, yes, he's the protagonist, but there's another point to look at. Every other character is killed off by emotionless flesh eaters, these things that have no morals, have no values. Yet at the end, all the ghouls are more or less dead and being shot and being burned. Ben is the last survivor and isn't killed by one of these things. He's mistakenly killed, mistakenly or not, he's killed by a real person who mistakes him for a ghoul. Now we have all our characters, being killed by these emotionless killing machines, these flesh eaters. But you have Ben being killed by another man on equal moral and emotional ground. He's killed by a real person, and to release it during this time period, we've just had the assassination of Martin Luther King, the assassination of Malcolm X, which were premeditated. And while that doesn't carry over into the film, Ben is killed by a real person, and he's killed by a white man. I mean, if that didn't resonate with audiences at the time, then what will?
Amazingly, we didn't recognize how political the film was, how on the surface how political it was, because when we were making the film, we were basically living in that farmhouse.
He didn't intend for all this controversy to happen. He wasn't intending to reflect the ideas of the civil rights movement during the 60s. He was just making a movie that he was inspired by from I Am Legend.
We look at all these meanings and conclusions we draw from this film, but in reality, it's all purely coincidence. And as ridiculous as it sounds, Romero even is quoted saying that he takes a zombie movie and uses it as a vehicle to make something that's entertaining, not something that's driving home a metaphorical message or trying to symbolize reality and history. That's later on. But with Night of the Living Dead, it's low budget, and you do what you can do. You just take something that will get an audience into theaters, and you make the money, do the most with what you're given.
Even though he didn't intend to spark controversy or have any deeper meaning in Night of the Living Dead, once he saw the controversy it sparked, he embraced it into all of his other films. So all of his films after Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead, Survival of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, all those movies now incorporate deeper meanings because he was inspired by the controversy that his movie unintentionally acquired. So after his movie, we start seeing films like, now we have Zombieland, and 28 weeks later, a whole bunch of zombie-related video games. It hit the video game industry hard. And we're seeing zombie books.
They created a new genre entirely. They created a subculture, a massive subculture. You have zombie walks, you have games, you have books, you have T-shirts, toys, anything, like cartoons for kids with zombies. You have comedies with zombies. You have so much more from just a simple idea that wasn't even meant to be this effective in the first place.
We call George Romero the grandfather of the zombie film, when that's not in fact true. The zombie film has been around for years and years. The fact is, what Night of the Living Dead did, it didn't just start something, it created a subgenre.
He had no intention of, creating the whole social satire thing behind it. But after the movie gained a cult following, he just followed up on it and kept it going, and he succeeded at it. And that's why I think he's considered the godfather of zombie movies.
Night of the Living Dead.